Weight and balance. The weight and balance of an aircraft is critical for safety and proper aircraft performance. This lesson is designed to give the pilot a brief overview of aircraft stations and the weight balance forms as presented in the flight manual under Part 2, Section 2, Loading Data. Terminology: basic weight or empty weight. Weight of the aircraft with fixed equipment and trapped fuel and oil. The basic weight is found on Chart C. Operating weight: basic weight plus oil, crew, crew baggage, extra, and emergency equipment. Total aircraft weight: operating weight plus planned fuel. Gross weight: total aircraft weight plus payload. CG or center of gravity: the balance point of the aircraft determined by dividing the total moment by the total weight. Moment: the amount of effect a given weight has on the CG at any time. The moment is found by multiplying weight in pounds by arm in inches. W times A equals M. Moment figures are usually divided by 1000, making numbers smaller for ease of use. Arm: the station, measured in inches from reference datum line, RDL. Planes of reference: there are three reference designations used to describe the various locations on the aircraft. They are called stations, waterlines, butt lines. Stations: measured in inches along the vertical axis of the A-frame, beginning from the reference datum line, which is located 34 inches forward of the nose. Waterline: measured in inches along the longitudinal axis of the airframe, with 0 located 47 inches below ground level. Butt lines: measured in inches left and right of the aircraft center line. In determining the balance of the aircraft, the pilot will most likely deal with the stations of the aircraft to determine the arm of the loads and components placed at any given station. As mentioned above, the RDL is 34 inches in front of the nose and extends for about 879 inches to the tail rotor gearbox area. The ideal center of gravity is station 336. The tables in Part 2, Section 2 of the flight manual give various stations, compartments, and hardpoint data. Most of the information needed to calculate CG has already been charted. All pilot needs to do is know the appropriate weight and find the correct arm. The moments have been calculated already on the charts. Charts. Several charts are used by the operator to figure and keep up with the basic weight and balance of the aircraft as changes are made with components, etc. 1. Chart A is a basic weight checklist. It includes all the components that could be placed on the aircraft, i.e. logging shock, impediment, winch, etc. It includes their weight, arm, and moment for ease of use. Equipment is listed by compartment, starting with the electronics compartment as compartment A. The chart includes a space for designating whether or not each piece of equipment is installed in the aircraft. The weights and moments are added up as the basic or empty weight of the aircraft and logged in the first line on Chart C. Chart B is the original basic weight and CG established when the aircraft was last weighed. Chart C. The current basic or empty weight of the aircraft is kept on Chart C. A running total shows the weight imbalance as additions and deletions of equipment are added to or removed from the aircraft. Weight imbalance calculations. Basic weight. Obtain the current basic or empty weight and moment of the aircraft from Chart C. Determine weight and station of each crew member. Go to Crew Table on Figure 2-3, Section 2, Part 2 in the flight manual. Find the weight of both the pilot and co-pilot on the far left column and read across to the right to the next column B1 to find the moment. If the pilot prefers more exact figures, he can multiply the weight times the arm for compartment B1 and arrive at an exact moment figure. Remember to divide by 1000 to reduce the size of the number you are working with. If there will be crew members, follow the same procedure with the weight of each individual, only move farther right to the column that corresponds with their station, i.e. B2, B3, B4. Crew cargo, stored in the cockpit storage compartments, is charted in Figure 2-4, Part 2, Section 2 of the flight manual. Use this figure the same way the crew table is used. Fuel moments can be found on page 2-26, Part 2, Section 2 in the fuel table. Find the weight of the fuel in each tank in the column on the left. Annotations at the bottom left of the column are for fuel weight with full tanks for the different fuel types that may be used in the aircraft. Move right from the appropriate weight to the correct tank and record the moment. Cargo moments are derived from appropriate tables on chart E. If the load would be suspended from a single point system, the table on page 2-24, part 2, section 2, gives moments for weights from 50 to 20,000 pounds in varying increments. If the load will be suspended from hard points, use the table in figure 2-5, section 2, part 2. The pilot must determine how much weight will be suspended from each hard point and use that weight to find the total moment for each hard point in use. The numbers are then combined to find the total weight and moment. Add all figures to determine total weight and total moment. Dividing the total moment by the total weight, that will give you the center of gravity. Changes in CG during flight should be considered. As fuel is pumped out of the tanks, CG shifts, and this can be somewhat hazardous if the aux tank is full and the transfer pumps become inoperative. The aft CG limit can be exceeded as the main tanks become low on fuel. The exact fuel weight at which the limit will be exceeded depends on the loading of the aircraft. When figuring the CG change in the flight for fuel burn, be sure to subtract the weight and moment for the fuel burned from the original weight and moment instead of subtracting the fuel remaining weight and moment. This is a simple error, but will distort the accuracy of your figures.